Välkommen allesammans! Today, speaking about Seidr, and it's a very important piece of evidence of how it was actually practiced. I'm not going to go into what it is in this video because I've done lots of videos on that, you can check them out. But just for the beginners, Seidr is the most powerful magic practice that the Norse had, where a person would perform this ritual to mostly see the future, but also to change the weather, place curses, and kill people even, and other magical things like that. So, very mysterious, we don't know a lot about it, even though a lot of modern people claim they know a lot about it, but really they're just making things up. But you know how we do here. We use everything based on historical sources. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what it says here about platform. So Seidr was always done on top of a platform of some kind. Here is the list of all the sagas that have a fairly detailed description of Seidr. Almost all of them specifically mention that Seidr was performed on a platform, or more specifically a scaffold. In one saga even, Gisli Sursson's saga, it was actually a man doing Seidr, and a platform had to be built before he was able to practice this, so it was kind of a spontaneous thing in this case, but a platform still had to be built, so absolutely Seidr had to be practiced up on some sort of platform. Interestingly enough, in some of the grave sites that we believe to be Völva and Seidr practitioners, we find carts buried with them, indicating that it was, an important part of their practice. The Oseberg ship is one of the most famous ones, but there are others. So these carts were for sure used as platforms. These were probably used by traveling Seidr practitioners, so they could take this platform wherever they went. And we do know that often they traveled and they were paid for their services to practice Seidr by kings and chieftains and things like that. So absolutely being raised on a platform was a crucial element to Seidr. Why was this so important? Well, was it to be treated like a stage for spectators? Yeah, that's probably part of the reason, but not all of it. It was supposed to be a spectacle, of course, that was performed for an audience in the records we have of it. Like in Vatnsdæla saga, it was a party, and they hired basically a Seidr practitioner kind of as entertainment for the party. But like I mentioned in the last saga, Gisli Sursson, it was just one man, Thorgrim, practicing Seidr, and one man who was watching him and paid him for it. So no, the platform was not always important because it was supposed to be a stage for an audience. It was for other reasons. Well, was it meant to just simply keep the Seidr practitioner elevated so she could see further distances and any spirits or energy or signs that she could use to predict the future in the old stories? Maybe, but she could have just climbed a tree or sat up on a horse for that. So I think it's the opposite, actually. That makes the most sense. She was not up on this platform so that she could see further. She was up on the platform that she could be seen from further distances. Not by humans, but by the spirits that were known to be called upon during Seidr. So we know that in Seidr, and most of the other types of magic that we find from the Viking Age, the spirits had to be called to the area in order for them to be used, in order for the magic practice to happen. There are many sources for this, but the specific one has detailed in Eric the Red's saga, where the Seidr practitioner asked someone to sing a specific song to attract the spirits before a Seidr ceremony. Now, calling the spirits could be done in many different ways from the Old Norse sources. A song, walking around like in circles, making a sacrifice, or death in general, someone who was beautifully dressed, standing on a rooftop or podium, or, kind of smudging or using incense, those kinds of things. Lots of different ways, and primitive cultures all around the world throughout history have done similar things to this for their shamanistic practices. So this aspect of standing on a platform is no different. It makes the practitioner visible from faraway distances by the spirits. That's what I think, and what I'm going to speak about now, this is just my theory. You're not going to read about it anywhere else. spirits, as they appear in the Old Norse sources and any other sources, they are like cats, and it's hard to attract them and keep their attention. Think about it. It's exactly like when you're dreaming. Your human mind and your consciousness is not all there with you. When you're dreaming, you don't quite know where you are. You don't know where you're going. Sometimes you don't even know who you are. And you're just wandering the dream world or the spirit world aimlessly with no purpose. Until you come across something in the dream world that catches your attention. And then you go see what's going on, and you try and stay for a while. So I think spirits, it makes the most sense that they're exactly like this. They're like the state we are in our dreams. Think of them as like little kids with the worst ADD you have ever seen. It's very hard to capture their attention, and even harder to keep their attention, just like cats. So if you are just going, if you're just going about your day in the real world here, doing your regular things, driving to work, cooking your food in the store, do whatever, spirits don't give a shit about that. They take one look at you and like, oh, someone's driving to work, oh well, and they walk away. But if you can do something kind of odd and curious and out of the normal, like sing a beautiful song, or spread some smoke around with smudging, or walk around in circles, or stand up on a scaffold, the spirits will be like, oh, what is going on there? Like, that person's not supposed to be on the roof. What are they walking around in circles for? Let's go see. Let's go check it out. Think about it. Even when we're dreaming, our minds are jello. We don't know. We're not there mentally when we're dreaming. We can still come to our senses, though, if something out of the ordinary is happening. If someone's walking around randomly in a circle, or something really weird is going on in our dream, we say, what? That doesn't look right. Let's take a closer look, And if it really intrigues us, then we stay there for long periods of time in our dreams. Sitting on a roof, can attract people like that. Also, I just made a video about that yesterday. Like, what? That person not supposed. Even in our most, deepest dreamlike state, we see a person sitting up on a roof. We like, hold on a sec. That person's not supposed to be up there. Let's go see what they're up to. And this is what I think. These platforms were for in Seidr. They were there to raise the woman up, and even they were built as scaffolds a lot of the time, which was the place where people were sent to be hanged and killed. So maybe this was a way of kind of tricking the spirits to come to the area, thinking that someone there was about to die. But that's one way of attracting the spirits, but there are many, many more that we can read about from the Old Norse sources and all around the world, really. Even some practices that can actually attract the gods, according to the sources. But I'll go into that in another video. Lots of interesting history. But that's the reason I think these platforms were so important for Seidr. We still don't know exactly how it was practiced, but this gives us, a couple more clues if anyone is interested in the history or even recreating these things based on actual historical evidence. So that's all I'll say for this video. Vi ses nästa gång.